Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome to lecture 15. In this lecture, we will discuss the systems and process improvement in any urban governance paradigm. In this week, we have been discussing various aspects of organizational development. In the beginning, we started with the discussion that for providing better service in the municipal areas, municipality or municipal corporation or any third tier government should be working efficiently, and we have seen that for that performance, efficient performance, three factors are responsible. One is motivational factor, one is environmental factor, and the third is the capacity of the organization which matters. Now, mostly the motivational and the environmental factor is mostly external, and which matters most in day to day functioning of an organization is the capacity of the organization, and out of that capacity, one by one we have discussed the like transparency and accountability, urban reform and managing change, all those aspects. So, today we will see one very important aspect for improving the day to day service delivery in municipalities or corporation, that is the systems and process improvement. So, in this lecture, first we will discuss that what is systems and processes, some definitional and some conceptual discussions. We will discuss how we can improve the systems and processes, and use of technology and in systems and processes, what could be there as an example. That is what we are going to discuss today. Now, first I start with what is a system and as a process. I ask you one simple example, that when a common man or common citizen submits application to a municipality for asking a water supply connection or for kind of a sanction of a building plan. Now, how much time a moderate municipality they take to accord those kind of approval? It varies. Sometimes an efficient organization can definitely provide that approval within 1 week. There are organizations who can even after 2 months also they are not able to say whether it is approved or not approved. So, those kind of problems are there. Now, which matters exactly in non-performing, on performing, or service delivery or non-service delivery? Let us see in little details that how the internal systems and process matters and influences the outcome of a service. For our case, any service as we discussed, like say building plan sanction or a water supply connection. Now, please see this example. Suppose we take an example of building plan sanction, and suppose the first stage is that submission of application with all documents. So, this becomes the first stage which is done by a common citizens. Next is that the application plus documents checked by say assistant or junior engineer then there can be two scenario. One is that after initial checking it could be found that yes, it could be forwarded, and no, it may not be forwarded because the papers are not in order. So, revision could be asked to the citizen, and then it will be final checking by senior engineer, and then also there could be two situation. One could be no, one could be yes, and if yes, it could be forwarded to the board, whoever is the top person of the board. It can be a chairperson or mayor. So, they give the final approval. So, that approval is final approval is given to the citizen. So, you can see that in this mechanism I tried to map the process or the stages of that sanctioning or the approval process, starting from a common citizen submits the paper, it is screened by a junior engineer, then it is screened by the senior engineer, and then finally it is put up to the board, and board finally accords the approval. Now, please see the chart again. In this chart, the process which I showed by using the arrows or the directions, okay, and the actions or stages. So, these are the stages. These are the stages or steps. So, the method by which a sequential stages or steps are shown with direction showing the arrows, this is called a process. So, this particular thing is called as process, which gives the direction of the particular function. Now, if I ask you that for every stage like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, what is the system or tools used for checking or for taking a decision. For example, see the chart once again. In the first stage where the citizen submits the application with all documents, how it is being received? Is there any, there could be a kind of a checklist to check whether the documents submitted are as per the requirement or not. The stage 2 and stage 3, how they are checking? Maybe they are checking manually, or they can check by IT based operation, that is the computerized system. So, they can check manually or even IT based. Similarly, for the first stage they can also submit manually, or they can submit online or IT based platform, right. So, the interface by which a common man interacts with the process, or the internal people who are working in the process, they are interfacing, they are interfering or interacting with the process, that particular interface is called systems. For this case, a checklist could be a system, a manual checking method could be a system, an IT based platform online submission could be a system. So, system is basically is a tool, interface with the process, and this system could be different for each and every stage. So, that is how we define the systems and process. Now, you can understand that if the process is so lengthy that actually it needs 3 to 4 stage, but it is designed or it is being continued as a say 8 to 10 stage, definitely it will take more time than what is required. At the same time, if every stages the systems which they are using, the system is very old, system is basically manual, which is having error or possibility of the more error. So, that can take not only the more time, that can also divert the screening process or approval process to a wrong decision. So, those kind of errors are there in the internal systems and process. This is the reason that some organizations, they are not able to provide the essential service within the time period. The way we discuss that citizens interface or citizens charter, in the citizens charter people get to know that within what time I am going to get such and such services. So, it is the responsibility of the organization to provide that service. Now, unless you rationalize or see the process and rationalize the process, that at every stage how much time you will give. For example, in this current example what we discussed, please see the chart once again. Like in stage 1, how much time it is required from stage 1 to stage 2? It is just checking of the checklist and forwarding the application to the junior engineer. So, maybe maximum 1 to 2 days could be required. Similarly, in the stage 2, based on the number of people and the number of application received, maybe 7 days maximum, and in the stage 3 if we consider another 7 days, then in the stage 4, we can understand another 7 to 10 days. We are assuming all this just to calculate, or so total you can understand that between 20 to 30 days it is possible to give an approval of a building plan. So, but if this process is too lengthy and have more stages than what we discussed, definitely it will have more time and transfer time between one stage to another stage, one section to another section, one table to another table. This also takes not only time, extra manpower, and also it brings and invites so many malpractices in the municipality, corruptions and the non-transparent conditions in the municipality. That is why if the system and process is improved, it can, the service delivery can be improved. So, basically system is the process is sequence, and system is basically the interface, as I discussed with you, with the process. So, therefore, you can see the process is a conceptual sequence of the events, enables the people in business to do what they want to do, and systems are what they use to execute the process, that means the interface. Next is the process is a continuous action and system is a tool to help in the process. Next, process is a journey and system is the mode of the journey. It is like you are taking a vehicle and reaching somewhere, and after that you are changing the vehicle, reaching some other place. So, here your journey is the process, how you start from origin and reach in a destination point, and in the whole journey you can change the various modes and transfer from one mode to another mode, that is also taking time. Therefore, every system, every mode takes specific time, they demand specific treatment, and transfer from one mode to another mode is also important. Therefore, process is a journey, system is the mode for the journey. Now, I show some of the examples of the process flowchart. This is a typical one process flowchart of solid waste management of a municipality. You can see that how it is shown. This is a typical example, like from starting from generation to separation, then from the separation it is going to the transfer station, then from the transfer station you are taking it from the recycling companies, some amount is going to landfill site, and then some amount is going to compost plant. So, this is a complete flow chart of the process flow chart of the solid waste management. Next, you can see this is a typical process flow chart of a training evaluation, how a training can be done. So, course is given, then the course director, that he makes the evaluation report and submits, then discuss and evaluate with co-trainers, formulate recommendation, prepare final course report, and that is how with decision making processes they come to a final evaluation completed through various processes. Similarly, we can make various process flow chart for each and every activity or service in the municipality. For example, there could be process flow chart for sanctioning water supply connection. There could be process for birth and death certificate issuance. There could be process for mutation. I hope you know the meaning of the mutation. Mutation is basically the process by which the name of the owner of a particular plot is changed in the register of the municipality. That process is called mutation. Then there could be process of getting trade license. Getting advertisement, then building plan sanction, then tax assessment and recovery, then even solid waste management service, etc. So, these there are many actually. So, apart from this is the regular job, apart from that there could be like the process of granting subsidy and allowances. There could be process of plan making, that could be also mapped using a flow chart, and there could be a process of collection of citizens contribution, and then there are other entitlement, any other entitlement that could be mapped with the process flow chart. So, this with this the flow chart, you can see the flow chart and you can assess and you can rationalize that whether this flow chart can be reduced to a lesser number of stages, so that you can minimize the time requirement. This is another process flow chart, that how a project preparation activity takes place. So, there are very many examples, you can see your examples also. Now, how we can improve the process and systems improvement, that is very important, because if you do not take every sections, every activity as I discussed, and map the process, rationalize the process, reduce the time taken for each process, improve the systems which is being used, and come to a new system, more efficient system, you cannot improve. So, there are the some essential steps. For example, as I discussed, number one is that first is the process mapping. Then rationalize and re-engineer. That means re-engineer means reducing time, steps and manpower. Maybe earlier that process was required 3 to 4 manpowers involvement, but now you are reducing to maybe 1 or 2 manpowers involvement, like that. Then assess the existing system and then improve the system either by improving technology and or improving the skill of the people who are working skills. You can hire also if required for some time, and you, so this kind of improvement, and also not only technology, you need specialized equipments in some cases. For example, this NPTEL course what we are running, without this essential equipments, without the essential technological setup, it is very unable, it very difficult to deliver online courses. Similarly, and because of this online courses, you do not need to organize the physical courses in the universities, like you do not need the hostel accommodation, you do not need so many advantages there. Similarly, there could be some stages in the municipal service delivery which could be converted to online mode, so that you do not need to interface or you reduce the interface with the people or interface with the logistics or the material requirement, right. So, after that you finalize the revised process and system both. So, if you follow this process, then it is possible in this whole mechanism whatever you do. Now, definitely the process and system improvement is an action, this is a action under organization development. Therefore, whatever funding is required for this action, so funding should be earmarked in city development plan itself, CDP. So, and definitely you need to mobilize the funding from the central or the other sources, so that you can do the process and system improvement. So, the process and systems improvement is like your internal circulation of your body, and because of that you are able to perform day to day services. If you do not take food or water or sound sleep, then you cannot work. Similarly, process and systems are like internal systems, this enables an organization to perform better. So, now you can see this is an example of that, using the online building plan sanctioning, how government could deliver 500 building plans. This is a newspaper clippings from Times of India. Then, so what your role is? So, this I discussed before. So, rationalize the processes and re-engineer it based on time, manpower, etc. Identify the obsolete systems and replace it with new and efficient one. Avoid fear. In the beginning, always we have seen that in the when you try to change the system, there is a kind of a fear or the resistance. I can share my experience when the first time the computerization came in the municipality, in the banking service, people was in a fear, they tried to resist the computerization, but after some time when they accepted and when they understood the benefit of the computerization, they accepted it. So, it needs constant persuasion, negotiation, counseling and convincing of the people, so that you can avoid and the eliminate the fear. And please do take the stakeholders consultation which is required. Then training and capacity building is required. For that you earmark the fund. Pilot testing, feedback and improvement. The moment you change the system and the process, you do not assume that the new system and the new process will work fantastic in the next very next day. So, therefore, it is required that you test a pilot case, or for some time, maybe for 1 month or 6 months, you keep the new process and systems under observation, and you try to observe, try to note down or document the problems faced by, the issues faced by the people and the people who are working in the systems and process, so that you can improve it, and take the regular feedback from the citizens so that you can improve. Then assess the condition for in regular interval. What process you are doing now, within 5 years that process and systems could be obsolete again. So, after some interval, for example, every 3 years there could be should be a kind of a audit of a process and system, so that you can improve it regularly. So, that is a regular job of a leader of a organization. It can be a municipal commissioner, it can be executive officer. It is their job to assess every time the condition of the process and systems and re-engineer it time to time. Now, in this context, I would like to mention that the essence of e-governance, you might have heard this terminology. So, the e-governance basically came as the essence to help government to improve this process and systems both, so that it can improve the service delivery. And better accountability and also transparency. So, the objective of the e-governance was to integrate the transactions at the central level, state level, local level, and even my grassroots level in a common platform of the information technology, so that there is a seamless connection with the information, and some of the information is available to the common people, and common people can access that information, they can interact for day to day services, and the services or the processes is also done on the e-governance platform, so that instead of manual process, people can interface with the system through online or through other efficient mode. That was the importance of the e-governance. So, some of the essence of the governance, you can see some points, like it involves process of reform in the government, how they work, share information, I told you. So, it is not only the external, it is internal people, it is external and internal clients both, that means the citizens, and also to the external people who are coming to the city for investment, for different purposes. Then clear intent of greater transparency in functioning, then greater efficiency, online delivery of the services, this is much more important for day to day transaction. Then you are using information technology, using wide area network, using internet, then so many tools are there, you are basically using this so that you can achieve all this benefit. Then online always does not necessarily imply internet, there are other modes, like it can be offline also, but the interface will be based on IT. For example, when you submit even physically some documents or some form to the municipality or some bank, it may not be online, but they sometimes process it through some computerized system. So, those kind of system may not be online every time, but the system is different, which is not exactly the manual system, and it reduces the error. So, this kind of advantages is there, and it results the benefit towards the transparency, empowerment, greater convenience, less corruption. After the RTI Act, now it is very easy for a common citizens to ask for an information, and initially it was very difficult for government organization to provide any information, because all the informations were recorded manually in the file noting or in the documents, hard copy document. But now after the e-governance platform, almost major section, major portion of the informations are there in the online platform, and that online platform or the e-platform is being used by the internal people, that the government organization as well as the external people seamlessly, and that is a great benefit in the current days. So, you need to have a robust capacity building for e-governance. So, just see the keywords, the standards of the facilities, uniform interactions, okay, then reduced cost, effective communication with government, businesses and citizens, easy interconnection through the government department and the other department, reusability of the elements, the process, design pattern, technology component. Now, since we have for our country we have multiple layers, basically our system will work like this. So, we have a state department or any nodal department. From the nodal department, basically there are district level administration or the department which is working, and then village level or city level organizations who are working. This is how, this is a schematic diagram how the seamless information and the connectivity could be there for day to day information sharing. Then this is another diagram, this is another indicative flow chart for the electronic service delivery mode. This is a general flow chart, but definitely this can be customized for each and every flow chart, process flow chart for your municipality. This is the front page of the national e-governance plan. This in short it is called NEGP. So, government has a robust e-governance plans not only for the urban governance, but also the every other sector of the governance. It can be rural governance, district level, state level, every level. So, please go through this site, you will get to know some latest information what is going on in the e-governance platform. So, there are very much advantages and the advances. Let us see some of the advances that people have appreciated. For example, right now we use railway reservation system, then we pay for garbage collection, then we the websites which is used for the printing of the government forms, then tax collection, then business registration in some of the countries, then e-procurement which has happened in India also. Now, in India also e-procurement is going on. Then income tax online, income tax is through the online platform in India also, the customs online, municipal service delivery and rural internet kiosk. Then teaching transfer for example, this NPTEL and whole Swayam platform is happening on the e-platforms. Therefore, it is not only the basic service, it is the teaching platform. Apart from that, e-Lanka, e-Bharat, all these are national e-government program for the not only India, of the other countries. Some other e-government or e-delivery service, like in Karnataka, they have started issuance of the land titled, railway reservations I have already told you. Property registration is in Maharashtra through the platform, e-Seva center in the Andhra Pradesh, and then open online tracking in Swell municipality, then citizen service center for some of the municipalities. So, these are the achievement, these are indicative. I hope that at your place, in your district and in your local bodies, you must have taken some of the activities, some of the actions in changing the process, changing the systems and integrating the e-governance platform given by the government of India. And now another advantage of this platform is that if you want to change the systems and process, there will not be any dearth of funding, there will not be any shortage of the funding, government will give the necessary funding. It is only your preparedness and proactiveness which matters, and that is how you can definitely mobilize the fund and improve your condition. So, definitely with the governance and the better systems and service, the satisfaction level is improved. This is for city of the Bangalore from some past studies. So, with this I would like to summarize and conclude today's lecture. So, in this lecture we have tried to discuss the various methods of the process and systems which is required to mobilize the internal functions of an organization. Under the overall organization development framework, the systems and process improvement is very much essential, because whatever we do as a day to day service delivery, every work relates to a particular process flow which is nothing but the sequential activity or arrangement of the various stages of the steps, that is called process. And for every process, every stage or every step, it is done by some particular systems. It could be manual system or online system, computerized system, systems using some guidelines, checklist or various methods are there. Now, how we can change the process and systems towards minimizing the time taken, towards minimizing the hassles, towards minimizing the wastage and the errors, that is the essence. So, task what is required to do is that to rationalize the process, minimize the process timing, minimize the manpower, etc., and improve the system from the manual to the online platform, or it can be a combination of that, and time to time it is required to assess the systems and process and again re-engineer and change it. And in this context, in this note, we have also discussed the essence of e-governance. The objective of e-governance activity in the India, which came as a major reform after JNNURM, was to improve the service delivery at all level, including the urban governments. Now, e-governance platform, it is the seamless connectivity between the central, state and local level government. So, your organization, if you are working in a development authority or public sector organization or the urban governments, definitely you can change your process and systems and take maximum advantage of the e-governance activity. I have shown some of the resources and references. Some will be also given to you, therefore, you can go through and can take the essential learning out of that. So, with this I would like to conclude. Next day I will discuss on the urban reforms and the managing change, which is also very much important, including this e-governance. There are various other reforms which came in the urban sector in last 10 years or so, and those reforms were basically subjected to change the performance of the organization. That is what we are going to discuss in the next lecture. So, for today's lecture, I thank you very much for attending.